Hey everyone, thanks for joining. So on today's video, I'll be looking at a new version of the XS7000 Rebirth range of Puma discs. So earlier in 2021, Puma branded this as a Rebirth. They relaunched the XS7000 model sneaker, which was pretty much the first Puma disc model that was available back in the early 90s. So as part of this, they've released a variety of different colours, different models. I'll look at the original in another video. But for this video, what I'll be doing is unboxing and reviewing quite a special version of it. Actually, it's the Rudolf Dassler Legacy Edition. And this has been released not just in Puma discs. They've done a range of Puma sneakers, and they put the Rudolf Dassler sort of like focus on it. All the range of white, with a few nice little touches. So this one was quite special. I only saw it available via Puma, which is kind of to be expected with it being quite special to their range, I guess. It was one that I wanted to pick up. It was different, and with it being all white, it just kind of stood out a little bit for me as well. So what I'll do, I'll just unbox. I'll give you my views on it, just my opinion of how I find the sneaker, how it looks, how I think it feels, and yeah, hopefully if you spot these and you like them, you can pick them up. So let's get them open. As you can see, they come in a really nice box here. I like the sort of the type font, the original Puma logo as well. Again, it's Rudolf Dassler Legacy. Obviously nothing, these came straight from Puma, so there's nothing written on here as you would find maybe in a store. If there's anything else, no, just some size and detail, usual stuff. But let's have a look inside. So there's a nice little, it's like a vintage advert here, Puma Formstrip shoe, and a bit of detail as well on the back about the Rudolf Dassler Legacy. I'll just hold that there if you did want to pause and read through that in a bit more detail. But that's there in the box. Let's get this tissue paper out of the way. Let's get to the sneakers. So here they are. Well, here's one of them anyway. As you can see, all white. There's a little bit of gold text there just for Puma disc and the Formstrip logo. And then for the mid disc in this area, they've obviously gone with in the style of the XS7000, so the original sort of artwork that you would find in the disc area. A little bit disappointed initially in the disc. I don't know if you can see on camera there. I'll try and get it as close as I can. It does actually say disc. I'll turn it around a little bit to try and get it level. It does actually say disc across there, but it's in really faint gold sort of font, which doesn't really stand out. And the Puma's a little bit small there. So just a few little negatives. I don't mean to be negative, but I will sort of admit, in terms of the newer Puma disc, I'm not as keen on this new disc. I like the way it unlocks very quickly just by pressing the button and pulling it up. That's great. It saves you having to wind it anti-clockwise to get the shoe open, but it just doesn't feel as nice. Doesn't really look as nice with some of this artwork on it. Although it is very similar to the original styles, I just kind of like the old style. Maybe that's me being a bit retro, but yeah, this one just seems a little bit bland. I think they could have done more with that, but this area, definitely like it. And the side of the shoe looks good as well. So it's a fairly, I would say, chunky shoe in a way, and it is, true to the original. It's exactly the same layout, exactly the same style. Obviously there's been some subtle changes. It can't be exactly like the original, but yeah, it does sit quite high. Reminds me of the Puma Disc Blaze a little bit, like the size of it. I always found them a little bit too big, bigger than I wanted anyway. This kind of does sit high. I think it's this big chunky sole. But yeah, it still looks nice. The leather upper on this version anyway. Obviously on the back it's got the Puma and the Trinomic. So yeah, it does look a quality shoe. I'll give it that. But yeah, just quite high in its profile. So I'll just get out the other shoe just to get the pair. Put the box to one side. Yeah. So as you can see, the two together. Yeah, they do look nice. They smell nice. I love the smell of new shoes. And yeah, there's some little Formstrip detail in there as well inside the shoe. So yeah, so how it compares, I mean, I've just got a few of the shoes just ready. In fact, let's use the box as a stand. I'll just put that there. So here we have the Dassler Legacy Edition. And just to put it next to it, this is the relaunch version of the XS7000. So this is in the Capri colours. This I really do like. I mean, this was a shoe that I coveted for years. It was the first, or one of the first Puma disc shoes I ever saw. And it was in the catalogue, it wasn't in the flesh. Absolutely love the shoe. I'll spend a video just looking at these and talking about the history of these. Really like this. Love the colours. For me, they're kind of iconic. They're like the original, say, like Instapump Fury. They've got that sort of look. The colours just work for them. And obviously this shoe is available in lots of different colours. It's not just this variety. Puma have really gone to town. Certain retailers as well have their own versions that you can't get anywhere else. So there's a lot to look out for. But obviously, as you can expect, side by side, apart from the different colours, and the material as well, one being leather, one it's not leather, but you can see the profile's the same. It's just generally the colours that are different. So obviously, if you want looking for an all-white Puma disc sneaker, this is up there. I think it's a really nice shoe. But just again on the profile thing, I'll just bring another shoe in. So we have obviously the new version here. Now this is just from my collection as well. One of the vintage, well I say vintage, it's not that old, but 30 years maybe. This is part of the kind of the second wave of Puma disc. This is a tennis shoe or a court shoe that they brought out. Now in terms of profile, this is what I was talking about. Obviously this is very flat sole, low sort of profile against obviously a much higher shoe. You can see behind it how much higher that one sits. Now I still don't think this is huge, but it's just sometimes I prefer that lower look, probably like an Adidas Samba sort of look, lower to the ground, whereas this one, yeah, just does seem that a little bit higher, but still, as I said, it's still a gorgeous sneaker. But for me, that's something I might just mark it down. It might just put me off slightly. And again, the disc area, if you look at this is kind of the original disc. So I was sort of moaning about where it said disc. In the original it just said push, but I just thought maybe that was a bit of a missed opportunity on this one, that they could have done a bit more just here. I don't know what they're going to put there, but where it just says disc, it's so faint, it's kind of not visible. Was it worth doing? Should they have done something else? But again, apart from that, and maybe the profile, maybe it's a little bit too big just for my liking, maybe not yours. That might be the only way that I'd mark this down slightly, but again, I think it stands out. I think it's an iconic sneaker. If you like Puma disc, I think it's up there, obviously against the original or the Rebirth version of the original. I think it looks great. I think it would look good wearing it with pretty much anything. I think it works. It's been all white, all black. I think those kind of sneakers just go with anything. But again, I'm holding this one. Trust these sort of older shoes. I do like this for the lower profile, and I think the Puma disc that came out sort of in the original range after the XS7000, there were a lot more in this sort of profile. Obviously this is a court shoe version, but a lot more sort of standard sneakers. I'm hoping, and obviously this will probably depend on sales, that Puma might look into some of those original range and look into new varieties. That they've used the Blaze model for many years. That's kind of kept this going with just a few variations on the side. I'm hoping if this does well that we will see some more of the original range, just as well as another Rebirth, I guess. Different colours, maybe working with new people, just to give the range a bit more variety. But I think for the moment, I was never expecting the XS7000 to come out as a Rebirth. Really wasn't. So when a friend told me, I was really surprised, really excited. Pretty much ordered them as soon as I could. And again, I went for the original, but these just caught my eye. As soon as I saw them, I was like, that's another pair that I'd love to get. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope it gives you just a bit of an insight of looking at a few shoes alongside each other and seeing a few of the details on the shoe. But if you like, subscribe. I'm hoping to do a lot more videos. I've got quite a few pairs of Puma disc, spanning from the I guess the early launch up to present day and everything in between. So I should hopefully have something on there. Make some comments if there's something you'd like to see, if I've got that shoe, or got something similar to that. I'll happily put that video up next and work on that. But thanks for watching. Take care and enjoy.